Hey, this your boy Rob Fishkin, man. You already know I'm tapped in with Sticky TV. If you ain't plugged in, you need to get plugged in. Stop playing.
Man, welcome back again. It's another Sticky TV interview, man. Shit, let them know who we here with today.
Yeah, my name's Dedan D. Dials. I'm a blues musician out of Mobile, Alabama. I was born and raised here in Mobile, Alabama. But I'm just a dirty blues musician, man. Ain't nothing special about it.
Most definitely. What got you into blues? Is what I'm saying, the genre of blues.
So I was in New York. I was busking in New York City, and I was playing at this place called Bethesda Terrace, and I was playing underneath that terrace, and I was busking. Some people came by. They were like these French scientists, and they gave me some drinks, and we was playing for a while. And afterwards, they showed me this bar. They're like, "We know this really cool place," and so we walked through some trails in Central Park, and they take me to this place called Paris Blues. It's owned by a guy named Sam. He was from Demopolis, Alabama. But this is in Harlem. We're in New York City, you know? So I'm in Harlem. I'm at this place called Paris Blues. And I have my guitar with me because I was just playing on the street. And the guys on stage see me with the guitar. And they say, you want to come up here and play? I was like, of course, yeah, absolutely, you know? My mom ain't raised no bitch. So I get up there, and it was the first time I sat with a blues band and played the blues for real. And after that, I just kept coming back every weekend. I'd take the train to New York City, and then from there go to Harlem, and then just spend the weekend there sitting in playing blues with these guys. And that's how I started playing the blues.
Okay then. How did you like performing just around the city of New York City? Because I know music is like a big thing.
New York is great. I love New York, and New York's always been really kind to me, you know? I think that busking in New York City is a little bit more free range because there's so many people that you can really just set up anywhere and start going, as opposed to Mobile where you might be the only busker, you know, in the whole block, on the whole block. Yeah.
Who would you say is one of your dream collaborations?
So one of my dream collaborations would be to work with Hozier. Hozier's one of the best contemporary songwriters in terms of modern artists, modern writers. I love him. He's got the juice, boy. He really does. And the way that he writes is such a kind of a indistinct combination of flavors that I really like him. You kind of sort of hear the Irish influences, you can hear the blues influences, and I like working with good writers. I like writing. Writing is my favorite.
What would you feel like is one of your biggest flaws?
My biggest flaw easily is that I am the only person on my team, you know what I mean? I'm the only employee here. So I'll put everything on my back, you know. I'm happy to be able to work with you guys at Sticky TV because shooting things is great. I'm a talented behind the camera and in front of the camera, but if I'm doing both, then both of them kind of start to fall apart. And then the same is true with administrative stuff. I'm not just the music director, but I'm also the booker, and I'm also the administrator, and I'm holding together every part of my business at this point, which isn't crazy. A lot of people are their own sole proprietors, you know. Right. But in this business, I think that the biggest chink in my armor and the way I do things is that I don't have so much of a team.
Yeah. For sure. Dream place to perform?
You know, I just went and saw an old girlfriend of mine playing at this awesome festival called Gov Ball. She's a good friend of mine. We were best friends for a long time, and I saw her play that festival, and she did so good, man. I think that the music festival circuit, the major festival circuit, is my dream. If I could wake up and spend weeks at a time going from festival to festival to festival, playing these huge shows, and that's just my job, that's just my life, I could do that. That's pretty much my dream, that festival circuit.
Most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely. So, what is your creative process like when you create music?
I center my process around inspiration, right? I think a lot of people waste a lot of mental energy worrying about where they start with writing a song or writing music, and they worry, should I start with the music? Should I start with the words? Should I find a beat? You know, and I found that if you start like that, you're gonna make something that's uninspired. So I find that the best way for me to be creative is to start with the inspiration. I could be hearing, maybe I'm listening to a symphony, right? And it's a couple bars of that symphony that, you know, hurt my ear. And so that sends me off spiraling, writing this whole new chord progression, this new melody. And in that case, I start with the music first. You know what I mean? If it's poetry, if it's T.S. Eliot, I'm reading Edgar Allan Poe, something like that, and it's a line in one of their novels or poems that inspires a lyric, and then I write, you know, a full song off of that inspiration, then the words might come first. So in my mind, the entire creative process has to start with inspiration.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Definitely. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good right now. I'm feeling good. It's been a nice day. I haven't done much.
Do you sing in the shower?
Oh yeah, I do. I like to spend some time with my set lists. Like if I have a show coming up, I make a set list on whatever streaming platform I'm using. I make the set list a playlist, and so I'm always listening to that a whole day or two before the show. And so I'll probably be, if you catch me in the shower before a gig, I'm probably singing the songs in order that I'm going to perform at the show.
Okay.
Yeah. I sing doing everything. I sing in all circumstances. Like how the Bible says, pray at all times. I be singing at all times.
What's one message that you could give to your fans?
If I had a message to give to my fans, it would be that the music that I write is an honest, rough look at my mind and how I feel or how I was feeling when I was writing. So listen, if my music seems like it has no hope, or it sounds dark and it's so sad, I hope that the people, fans of my music, the friends, the family that I have, I hope that they get the overarching theme of all my sad blues, which is that I'm still here, you know? I ain't done yet. I don't plan on quitting anytime soon. I sing about dark and hard and heavy stuff, but the fact that I'm here singing about it means that it didn't kill me, did it? You know?
For sure. If you didn't have music in your life, what would you be doing right now?
I'd certainly be dead by now. I think I'm 25, and before I was 21, you know, I didn't really think I was gonna make it to 21. It was a surprise to make it to my 21st birthday. And I think every bit of my life since then has been in service of making this music. And if I didn't have this music, I wouldn't have had the most important medicine that I've been taking almost every day for most of my life, you know, since childhood. And so I don't imagine I'd be doing too well. If I was above ground, I probably wouldn't be doing well.
For sure. How do you feel the internet is impacting the music business?
I think the internet has done great things for the music business. I think it's brought the level. The internet has affected the music industry in this way. We all have a lower level of entry. Our threshold to get into the industry is more open than it ever has been. But there's also more competition than there ever has been. And so the internet has expanded the game. Right now, no longer is the game just playing shows, writing songs, performing, and touring. Now it's being a social media influencer, right? Every musician has a requirement to play that part of the game. So it's just updated the music game. You know what I mean? I'm sure that when color TV first came out, and musicians all of a sudden having to cater to this new market, this new media stream of television, I'm sure it was a huge, huge change for them. All of a sudden you could get a huge amount of followers and viewers just by going and doing one little set on a TV show, like The Tonight Show, or any of those old kind of television platforms. So it has changed the game, but the game be changing. You know what I mean? That's why you gotta get your advice from somebody who's currently in the industry. Old heads are useful for so many reasons, but you have to be aware whenever you're working with a good mentor or a good advisor, producer, engineer, anything who's sort of from a older time in music. You have to remember that the game changed yesterday, and the game will change tomorrow, So
For sure.
stay informed.
For sure. What was your first song ever created?
I definitely wrote. I had a composition notebook when I was maybe 7, 8, that I filled up with songs. And I remember, I think the only lyrics I can remember from my first song are walking around with my head down, thinking about you, baby. That's it. That's all I remember. But yeah, I used to have a notebook full of songs when I was young. I think my little sister destroyed it.
So I hear you say you've been writing books since you were about 7 or 8.
Mm.
What inspired you to be a songwriter at such a young age?
Oh, I like the, when I was at that age, the dictionary was this huge inspiration for me. My favorite book to do was sit down and read the dictionary. I'd sit and I'd do this, I had this like little game where I'd sit with a big dictionary and I'd flip and I'd just kind of, it's a random page, and I'd just scan through until I found a word that I didn't know. And I'm like 7, so I didn't know most words. And so I'd find the word, learn what it means, and then use it. And I used to do that all the time. And so I had like this love for words and communicating thoughts and feelings, and that's how it started. And I mean, it's not just songs, man. Songs are my expertise. That's my special area. But I've written poems, I've written spoken word, I've written books, I've written novels, I've written stories. Fiction stories, but. I'm working on an exposition now. I've written plays, musicals and stuff like that. But songwriting is my passion. That's my special skill. Yeah.
Once you've kind of done your journey as far as an artist, what would be your next venture that you think you'll want to embark on?
Right now, I'm thinking about, thankfully, thanks to the city of Mobile and the Hall family, the Jernigan family, and the Peavies, I received a grant, in the past couple of years, called the Jacob Hall Memorial Grant for a musician who died in 2020 named Jacob Hall. And they give it out every year, so that's old news. I received the grant. I've been working on that album for the last year. It's almost done. We're gonna release it and put it out. Now, what I am embarking on is the competitive world of the music industry. I'm ambitious, I'm young. I still think I can make a run for it and do pretty well. So I'll be competing in something called the International Blues Challenge in just a few days. I'll be going to New Orleans, performing at a venue called the Domino against a big list of blues artists from the New Orleans Blues Society. And I'm gonna beat every single one of them and become the winner of the Blues Challenge from New Orleans. And then once I win that, they'll send me to Memphis for the international competition, and I'll compete against all the blues artists in the world. And I'll be the reigning champ from New Orleans. I'll be the winner from New Orleans, and I'll go up for the International Blues Challenge. And then after that, it's all travel and networking. I'm 25. I got 0 baby mamas, 0 convictions. I can travel. I'm flexible. I can be in LA like that, and sometimes I do have to be, or New York or Philadelphia or anywhere. So for this next year, it's all going to be about competition, networking, and travel, opening up my music to some new markets.
What would you say is your favorite song to perform so far?
My favorite song to perform has definitely changed, right? But my favorite song right now that I always bring up is the song called St. James Infirmary, back at Paris Blues in Harlem. St. James Infirmary was this tune I was always trying to play, and now I don't sing it like I sang it then. Now I say Mobile Infirmary instead of St. James Infirmary. It's an old folk song, man. The song's hundreds of years old. You know what I mean? So I'm from Mobile, and I think about Mobile Infirmary every time I sing it. And but the St. James Infirmary Blues is a classic traditional blues song that I've been singing different witcher kind of ways ever since I first walked into that first blues bar in Harlem.
Well, definitely. At what age did you feel like, okay, I'm finna take music seriously, let me lock in?
Yeah. So I've had to decide to be a focused professional musician over and over again in my life, multiple times. Mostly because I come from here, and I kind of come from, I grew up on the poverty line. Let's just say that, you know what I mean? And so having this dream, wanting to be a musician, telling that to my parents who are struggling to feed me and my siblings wasn't a satisfactory plan, And I grew up in the kind of family that when you turn 18, you were out. You know what I mean? We ain't got no room for you here. So when I was 16 was when I first said, okay, I think I know how I'm gonna do this. I think I know how I'm gonna focus on being a musician. And that was through, at the time I was in the worship band in church. That was the first band I could ever be in. School band cost money around here in Alabama. So I was never able to do music in school. So 16, I'm in the worship band. 17, I sign up to go into the military. That's when I made the plan. I was gonna go into the military, use the money from the military to fund the dream, boy, because it's nice to have a dream, but you gotta fund the dream, And so I went into the Air Force as a journalist, and I spent quite a few years there, one contract, but that was enough to secure my health care, helped me buy my first home, it helped me get dental care, stuff like that you don't think about when you're a teenager. But when I was young, I knew I was going to be doing this. I knew I was going to be playing music for a living, so I needed those things covered.
Right.
And then by the time I get out of the service, right, turning 21, that was when I said, all right, I'm not doing anything else but this. I've put in my time, paid my dues. It's time to focus.
Right.
And that was 2020, you know. And
what was the first instrument you learned to play?
I mean, I got kicked off of pianos when I was a kid all the time. Whenever I found a piano, I'd start playing it. And, somebody'd scream from the other room, "Stop banging on that piano!" And so I guess the first thing I ever spent time playing was that. I sang though when I was a kid, so my voice definitely came before anything. Probably my pen, like writing songs. Then I learned my voice, and then I learned instruments. And now I know so many instruments, it'd be hard to count them all.
Sure. How would you describe your worst performance?
Oh, I mean, just riddled with mental health struggles. So I deal with some serious mental health things, you know, since service and everything. So I'm getting ready for this show. And if anybody knows how a panic attack feels, it's a physiological thing. You know what I mean? It's like having any sort of sickness. You know, when it comes on, it comes on. You know, if you have IBS, you know, you can take all the medicine and stuff you want to, but if you got IBS and that feeling comes, you know, there's nothing you can do sometimes but to, you know, go take that shit, you know what I mean, deal with them irritable bowels. So my panic attack came to set on, I think it was cold outside. It was maybe a year ago. It was the first show I ever played with my producer, Jason Stigler, right now, who's part of a huge collective in Los Angeles called the Beehive, a big production house for a lot of major artists. And first time I worked with him, I'm having a panic attack like 15 minutes before the show starts. You know, everything's set up, the band's all there, we're all ready to go, and I am in the bathroom freaking out, screaming, crying, because I'm in the middle of a panic attack. But a panic attack can only last so long. So I pull myself together, take myself directly from the bathroom to the stage, put on my guitar, get in front of the microphone, and then call the count in of the first song. And from the count in to the end of that set, I was fine. I was playing better than I've ever played, you know what I mean? I'm really, really ripping myself apart because my mind is not in the game. My mind is freaking out. And so my body is taking full control and it's running the show. And I mean, I used up every bit of energy in my body that day to push through the panic attack and then still give everybody a good show. And everybody knew, you know, they didn't know, they didn't know one way or the other, the audience. They were just having a good time. So it was a good show for them, rough show for me. Hard show to do.
What's the story behind your stage name?
So I ain't got no stage name. My name is Dedan D. Dials. And so there's not another Dedan D. Dials in the world. So my stage name is the name my mama gave me. So if you want like the background on that, you're gonna have to ask my mama.
Fondest memory of growing up?
I have fond memories growing up. I just can't think of one. Let me think of one. I think one time, so every year, my family would we would all, like everybody in the family would pool money together and we'd rent a condo in Gulf Shores for like a week, you know? And so we'd put blow-up mattresses and sleep like 4 people to a room, you know what I mean? And that was great because there's no being bored at the beach is what they would say, you know, in my family, because you could just walk outside and just go, you know, walk up and down the strip, go out to the water. And so every summer we'd go out there to the beach and I still have a deep loving relationship with the water and the beach. and the creeks and the rivers, anywhere. Because there's no being bored at the beach, you know? There's no being sad at the beach. You just go get in the water.
What's some of the perks? What would you say is the main perk of you being an artist?
What is a perk of being an artist? Probably that everything that I do is a tax write-off. My gas to shows, my food in between, things like that. That's pretty nice on the financial end. My favorite perk of being an artist, though, is being able to look at people and tell them, I love you. And they accept that from me because they have a loving relationship with me and the music and the way that I make them feel and the way that the music makes them feel. So being able to tell you that I love you and nobody bats an eye solely because I'm an artist, you know. So my love is here and freely available for anyone that wants to come and enjoy my music and rock with me. If you rock with me, I rock with you, you know, I mean, with my whole heart involved.
Let everybody know where they can follow you at on social media.
Yeah, like I said, my name's Dedan D. Dials, spelled D-E-D-A-N, D. Dials. If you can find me anywhere on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of those is just my government name, Dedan D. Dials. And you can check out my songs, Made in America, on all the streaming platforms, and soon we'll be putting out song after song with the album that I made with the help of the Jacob Hall Memorial Grant. So if you're a local musician in Mobile, you should apply for the Jacob Hall Memorial Grant to help you with your music industry, your music business. I hope that I get to see some of you at my shows. And if not at my shows, come follow me on social media and I'll try to keep you entertained there as well.
Thank you for sitting down with us today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Sticky TV. I appreciate it. Yeah, man.
Hey, this your boy Rob Fishkin, man. You already know I'm tapped in with Sticky TV. You ain't plugged in, you need to get plugged in. Stop playing.